Hey y'all, I'm JamesWright and welcome to Wizards News. Today I want to talk about the harrowing Halloween event. It is coming up, Halloween, and I want to make sure everyone has the best information on this because there's a lot of really weird information and some really interesting ideas out there. So let's dive in and take a look at this. So the event will be starting for everyone at the exact same time. It will be starting this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So you'll have to figure out where you are in that. For some of you, that will actually be starting in Halloween, and some it will be starting the day before. The event itself will be 48 hours long, and so that means on Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, it will end for everyone at that same time. So it's a 48-hour window. That means it's kind of tight. There's a bunch of things to do in this, and you're probably going to want to schedule out some time for this because there are some really interesting things to do. So let me bring you over here to the official blog. This is where they put the official wording of how this is all going together. Now, most of this is fairly straightforward, though it does leave a few questions, and some people have been kind of wondering about how things are going to be coming up. Number one, this event will have many different aspects. It will mostly be about challenges and people trying to get the basilisk, which we'll be talking about here in a moment, but there will be other things to do. So if you complete that, there will be some other things you can also accomplish. So let's dive into this. Number one, there will be the Harrowing Halloween Chamber. So if you go into your normal chamber list and you'll have ruins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for that 48-hour window, there will actually be one more chamber that is above. It'll be at the top of the list. It'll be the Harrowing Halloween Chamber. And this is the special chamber only for this event. After the 48 hours, it disappears. We know that during this window, we will also be seeing several other people. Number one, a Dark Witch. A lot of people have been asking, when are we going to see the Dark Witch? A Dark Ministry official, as well as Slytherin's Basilisk. So there will be 3 new foes you can come up against. Some people were saying that Slytherin's Basilisk will end up being a bigger, more powerful foe, which I kind of expect. Some people were saying it was going to be like a weird one that multiple people can attack, and I don't see that happening. I think it's just going to be another foe, a bigger, stronger foe. Apparently, the Slytherin's Basilisk will be considered a magical creature, therefore Magizoologist will have the strength against that. Also, we've been told, it's a little hearsay, that the Dark Witch and Ministry Official are actually both considered curiosities, so those will be beneficial for the Professor. Apparently that leaves nothing left for the Auror, but I don't know. The information we're getting on that's a little bit sketchy, so we'll have to see which person actually gets that. It does sound like the Dark Witch and the Dark Ministry Official will hang around afterwards, and we might see them being worked into chambers eventually, but apparently right now they're only going to be in this chamber, and then after that they'll disappear for a while. So if you want to see those, great, get into this chamber. You might be seeing them come back in the future. Some people are saying they're going to hang around. I don't think so. I think it's just going to be normal chambers after that. So let's skip down a few lines down here. Partner fortresses will grant bonuses, including increased chances of encountering Slytherin's Basilisk, bonus Dark Arts Family XP, and increased spell energy in chambers levels 4 and higher. This gets a little confusing for some people. Number one, everyone is going to be trying to get a basilisk. This is one of the assignments you're going to have to get. Everyone has to defeat a basilisk. And if you're in a group, only the person who defeats the basilisk is actually going to get the credit for it. So if you're in a group, you're going to have to take turns on who actually gets it. Right now, there's basically several things you can do to increase your chances of getting a basilisk. Number one, you can go to a partner fortress. If you have an AT&T store, a Cricket store, or a Simon's Mall, there are other ones in a few other countries. If you don't have it, then, oh well, it's going to be a bonus for those who do, but if you don't, then it's not something to worry about. Number two, you can go there with more people. The more people you have, the higher the chance you're going to find it. If you don't have other people to play with it, oh well. Number three, you can use a higher runestone. The higher the runestone, the higher the chance you're going to find a basilisk. So if you combine all those together, you get multiple people to get together at a fortress. You're all putting in high-level runestones. There's going to be a higher chance you're seeing a basilisk. Now, does this mean that if you don't have runestones, you don't have other people to play with, you don't have a sponsored fortress, you'll never see them? No, it just means your chances are going to be lower. You'll probably have to do more chambers to get through that. So you're going to want to make sure you have a lot of runestones, and the more of the high-level runestones you can get, the better. Also, if you can work at now prestiging your pages so that you need those items you get, the foundables you get with the Dark Arts runestones, that will help you out as well. The one confusing line is this last one down here, in chambers levels 4 and higher. So does that mean that all of these bonuses, including the Slytherin's Basilisk, the Dark Arts family, and the spell energy, you will get higher chance in chamber 4? No, there's commas between everything else, and there isn't one after this. So only the increased spell energy will occur in chambers level 4 and higher. So I'm assuming that means in runes 4 and 5, and tower 4 and 5, and fortress 4 and 5, you'll be seeing it there. You won't be seeing it in runes 1, 2, 3, and in tower 1, 2, 3. I'm assuming that's the wording. It's a little bit vague. And I've heard some people saying you'll actually be able to find basilisk in those other chambers because this is the modifier to the rest of the sentence, but I don't read it that way. So we're going to have to play with this. There's a lot of little things that we don't know. And as it's 48 hours long, I'm planning on putting out a video really close to the beginning of it and possibly doing a live on Wednesday night about 6 to 8 hours into the event, and we'll be talking through what all is going on in that. So that's what most people are going to be doing. They're going to be focusing on the chambers. But there are two other things that will be going on. So if you do get the basilisk right off the bat, there are other things that you can do to increase your time and have a little bit more fun. Number one, there will be increased chances of dark arts traces. And so this will be a good opportunity to prestige those pages, find the things that are a little bit more rare. I've heard some people saying if you play it along banks, it'll be, overpacked because normally dark arts spawn around banks because those are the flag zones for them. And so more dark arts spawning in the dark arts area, maybe. I think you're just going to be seeing most everything kind of treated like a dark arts zone. So be ready to work on your pages for that. You can get the fortress only foundables because you'll be using the dark art stones to find the basilisk, but you will also then have the chance to get the regular wild traces as well. And then on top of that, they're throwing in Moaning Myrtle and Ginny Weasley. Moaning Myrtle was attacked by the basilisk years before, and Ginny Weasley was the one that Tom Riddle lured into actually opening the Chamber of Secrets. Were wildly obvious, and I don't know why I didn't think about that last video I had, but thank you for those of you who reminded me. So you're going to want to make sure that your pages need these two items, and that way you can prestige the page through it. Make sure that you're getting your fortress foundables you need for those two pages, and that way you can actually use these. And that way when you actually go through getting your basilisk and you get that and you're looking for other things, you can focus in on getting these two foundables that are usually a little bit more rare. You can make sure you max those out so you don't need them after this event. Next up, for the Harrowing Halloween event, there will be a set of assignments. It's not a huge list. It is a list of 5 things you can do. That'll give you a few extra items along the way. Number 1, return 10 dark arts traces. They should be popping up quite a bit. That should be relatively easy. Number 2, use 2 dark arts runestones in the Harrowing Halloween's chamber. So you're going to be looking for basilisk. Make sure you're using your dark arts runestone. That one should be relatively quick and easy to do as well. Number 3, you need to defeat 3 dark witches. If you're going for the basilisk, this one should be relatively easy as well. Number 4, you're going to want to get 2 dark ministry officials, and this will get you 2 spell books, those fantastic rare red books that I need 40 more of in order to finish the professors. Almost there. And number 5, you're going to need to defeat at least 1 basilisk. This will give you restricted section book. Yes, you can get 1 more green book. Ooh, that's kind of nice. But it will also give you the ministry title of Breaker of Basilisks, which I think is kind of cool. So these should be relatively easy, and if you're hunting the basilisk, you're probably going to be doing these already. So I expect most people to go through this fairly quickly, but just keep it in mind. These will be the things you're looking at. Now, one of the things these do tell us is that you'll see dark witches more than anything else. You'll see dark ministry officials a little less common, and then the basilisk is the rare item. So kind of expect that to be the way. You're going to have to go through a lot of dark witches to get down to your basilisk. So what can you do now to prepare for the event coming in 2 days? Number 1, you can make sure that your pages are ready to get those dark arts foundables that you'll be getting more of. Number 2, you can make sure your pages are ready for Ginny Weasley and Moaning Myrtle, so you can actually use those. If those are filled up on the page, then it's kind of worthless to have those out there. Number 3, you're probably going to want to brew some potions. If you are an aura and you tend to be using a lot of healing potions, you want to make sure you're stocked up on those. I'm planning on brewing quite a few of my Stimulo potions, so I have those ready. I'm not exactly sure how hard the chambers will get. It sounds like the chambers are going to progressively get harder. There's been a bunch of ideas about that the chamber is always the same hardness, or they progressively get harder, or the chances of finding the basilisk go up as you do more and more chambers. There's a lot of interesting ideas with that. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And stay tuned to the channel. As soon as this event comes out and we actually do get answers to these, I'm going to be putting out those answers on a video as well. The biggest suggestion I can have is right now, plan your event. Find out which fortress you're going to be going to. Get your local players together and set up a time so that everyone knows we're going to be at this fortress at this time. Come out with us and let's play and do the best we can on this. So this is really stacking up to be an interesting event, and I'm kind of interested to see what this will be, because you don't know. This is something that's a little bit different. It is a new type of event, and I know Wizards Unite is kind of experimenting with this, and we'll see what WB and Niantic come out with this, and what they'll change in the future. So be willing to put your feedback into it and give the constructive criticism that needs to happen. On top of all that, I kind of expect something special to be happening, something a little different they're not telling us about. They've been doing some good things that are just, ooh, let me give you these other potion ingredients that are hard to find, or, oh, let's give you this bonus over here. So keep your eyes open for other bonuses or things that aren't listed in this, and we'll be having more fun with this event once we figure what all those are. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please let me know down below. If you have any other questions or ideas, go ahead and throw those in the comments, and we'll try and get to as many of those as we possibly can. So I think that's about it for today, and until next time, have a magical day. Chocolate Frog! This one comes from Water Lily, and she wants the shout out to go to Pokefodder as well. I think I have like 5 or 6 of these left, so a huge thank you to Water Lily for putting those out. And if you haven't seen Pokefodder's channel, definitely take a look at that. I'll leave a link to it down below. So let's see, who did we get in this one today? Today we got... Oh, yes! Gilderoy Lockhart. That's one of the rare ones. Cool.